Hello, everybody. It's the witching hour once more. It is 8 p.m. on a Thursday night, and it's time for Treasure Tales. And we got some really good stories lined up for you tonight. We got two top flight guests you're going to love. They got a lot of really good stories. And like we always say, Liz and I, she is the co host for tonight. So let's bring her on, and we got a little bit to say. So let's bring on the Diggin' Canuck, the top female detectorist in the world, I might add.
Oh, Jeff. Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is swimmingly today.
Yes, they are, I think. And I was just telling them, we've been talking about, about the show. And, um, my vision for the show has always been it's not about the finds.
Mhm.
Because not everybody is in a location where they can make all these old historical finds. It's
Yes.
about the individual and their treasure hunting story and their life in it and their travels in it. Wherever
Yes.
you could be just down the block to go to the park, to hunt for coins. And
Mhm.
that's what Treasure Tales is all about. It's not about, oh, I got to go to England and find all this stuff, or
Mm.
I go to here and found this and that and all the Civil War stuff.
Yeah.
It's not what it's about. It's nice, it's
Mhm.
fun,
Mhm.
yes, but that's not what it's about because everybody has a treasure story, don't you think?
Yes, I love the premise of the show that it's all inclusive. We don't just have people on that find Civil War bullets and badges and plates and stuff like that. Treasure, as you end the show every time, treasure can be found anywhere, and that is what we. Those are the kind of stories that we want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just metal detecting, it's bottle digging,
Yeah.
magnet fishing, arrowhead hunting, geocaching.
Hmm.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
And there's lots and lots of ways
Hmm.
to treasure hunt. And that
Yes.
kind of brings, back to the Blue Spade Society, why we formed that.
Hmm.
It was in honor of my friend John David. Um, and, I keep going back to that because there's a lot of different ways to treasure hunt.
Yes.
And I'd say, if you were, a veteran, let's say, that was in Iraq or Afghanistan and you got your legs blown off, just maybe instead of sitting on the couch and feeling sorry for yourself that your life is over, possibly it's not. So with the Blue Spade Society, we like to help those people and
Hmm.
show them that, maybe they can't get out into a field or a park and metal detect, but I tell you what, they can roll their wheelchair out on a bridge and throw a magnet over,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
you find all kinds of good stuff with that.
Hey, they
So,
can even do coin roll hunting too. You know.
oh, sure, that's another one. That's
Yeah.
another one.
Hmm.
Sure. I mean, there's just all kinds of treasure hunting is as treasure hunting does,
Yes.
to Forrest Gump it up a little bit.
That's it.
But it's to me, it's just very important that we have our guests that are everyday people.
Yes.
We don't have to have a YouTube channel because not everybody has a YouTube channel,
That's
nor does
true.
everybody want one.
Yes.
It's all about them. So people love to meet other detectorists, and you
Hmm.
never know, you may make a friend from
Hmm.
here, there, and everywhere
Yes.
and get together and do some hunting and or bottle digging or whatever.
Yes. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's kind of it. So there's a lot of folks out there that I have sent some emails to that folks check your spam folders. Sent some emails to some people about being on the show. And if you have an interest, if you would like to be on the show, and you don't have to have all this great history, like we said, with finding this and that and the other thing.
Hmm.
That's not what we're about. Get up with me at treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. I'll even put that on the screen.
There it
There's the
is.
email. And then you can send it to diggingcanuck@gmail.com.
Yes.
If you have an interest in being on the show,
Mhm.
we will promise you that we will get back to you in a very, very timely manner, and we'll discuss it. We'll look at our schedule and see
Mhm.
when we can get you on. Right now, we're booking for the month of December. So, if you got a desire, let's
Mhm.
get in here and let's you know introduce yourself to the world, make some
Exactly.
friends.
Exactly. Mhm.
So maybe we ought to say hello to some people because as we always say, and you always say on your top rated Coffee with Liz live stream on Sunday mornings, hey, if they weren't here, we'd be sitting here talking to each other.
Exactly. It's a lot more fun when there's like a bunch of people in the house.
That's right, and there is a bunch of people so far. Let's see who we got here. Dirty Paws Detecting, Mike Mayo and Trish. And you're going to get to meet them. I think it's next week,
Yes,
I
that's
do
right.
believe.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they'll be on next week. And let's see. Let me get over here. And we have Gary Kerr. Hello, Gary. How are you, my friend? Glad you joined us. Robert Ridgway from Pinellas Park. Hey, Robert. And Mark Fiorella, the man, the legend from the Niagara area, Buffalo. Okay. Philip Faircloth. Hello, Philip. Glad you joined us tonight. And let's see. Mandy Brown. Hello, Mandy. Nice of you to join us tonight. There's my brother from another mother, the Mumbles Man. And y'all will get to meet the Mumbles Man in October on the 13th. He and my other brother from another mother, Mr. John David, the man we created the Blue Spade Society for, are going to be the guests. So, um,
Did you say Robert Ridgway?
yes, I did.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
sorry.
might not have said it,
Okay.
but and the Mumbles Man's in Hawaii right now.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And here is my other brother from another mother, Mr. Phil Myers, Myers Metal Detectors. If
Always
you
has it
ever
in
need,
stock.
it's always in stock at Myers. Best deals, best service. If you need anything, 813-237-1939, Myers Metal Detectors. And let's see. Okay, I think we got everybody that's watching on YouTube. The Facebook is nobody's making comments or join the chat. So, tell me what's been going on in Canada.
Bizarro weather. It was like cool today, cool yesterday, cool tomorrow. Like, what the heck happened to hot, hazy, and humid?
Yeah, it was only 87 here today.
Yeah, like seriously, not hot enough for me.
Well, it was kind of like winter.
I felt fallish today, I must say.
Well, I felt fallish too. I fell over the tree out
Well,
there.
that's yeah, that's
Does
that's
that
another
count?
story.
And I hadn't even been drinking.
Well, no
Maybe I
Modelo.
should.
I was not Modelo induced.
No, it was not Modelo or Cabernet or Shiraz or no induction.
There you go.
Actually, the only thing I've drank today is green tea.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, so the weather, I'm not happy with the weather, but you know.
Well, what are you going to do? You haven't been able to get out, have you?
I did some park hopping yesterday. I had the Deus 2 out. I actually had the GoPro mounted up here doing some POV coin shooting in the park.
Cool. Well, that brings me to something. I know you got the Deus 2 and you love it,
Yeah.
but you've got the 11-inch coil and you much prefer to have the 9-inch coil. So if any of
Yeah.
you out there have a 9-inch coil that you don't, you're not happy with and maybe you want the bigger coil, dickandcanuck@gmail.com. do a trade. She'll pay the postage.
Yeah, I actually put an ad up on the on a Canadian metal detecting forum, and I said I'll swap a 9-inch for an 11-inch. There is absolutely nothing physically wrong with that 11-inch coil. It's just it's too big for me. I am not that big of a person, and I just prefer the smaller 9-inch coil because it's like the XP-ORX, the 9-inch coil. Absolutely love it, and I think I just when I first bought it, I thought, I'm going to go big or go home, but that was a mistake.
Yeah, I think you like. 'Cause I prefer for dirt digging the 9-inch coil.
Yeah.
And I use the 11 on the beach and in the water, but I'm not a dry sander, so
Yeah.
it's either the wet sand or in the water for me.
Yeah.
So it works out very well that
Yeah.
way. But anybody out there, if you've got a 9-inch coil for the Deus 2 now, it's got to be the Deus 2, not the Deus 1,
Yeah.
the Deus 2, and you want to swap for the 11-inch coil because the other coils are coming out and they're pretty pricey. They're about 400 and some bucks.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I priced them here where I purchased my Deus 2, and with shipping would be free, but with tax all in for the for the 9-inch coil would be $529.
And that's Canadian dollars. So
Canadian. That's a lot of money.
That's probably about 450 American. So
yeah, that's a lot of cash.
Yeah. So if you've got something you want to, move up into a bigger coil, trade. Just send an email. You can send me the email or send it to her, and we'll make sure you guys get together. And it won't cost you nothing because she'll pay the postage. Right?
There you go.
Okay. So it's about time for us to get into this, isn't it? They're tired of hearing me yap.
We can't really talk all night, so.
No. Well, we could, but we're not.
Well, we could, but nobody's going to watch it.
That's right. They're going to get out of here. Give me that big hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me one of those. So our first guest tonight is just a super, super talented individual. This person is one of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet, number one. Number two, one of the most unassuming people you'd ever want to meet. And number three, one of the most talented individuals you ever could hope to meet. This girl, as you know, when you're treasure hunting, you find a lot of junk. She takes the junk and turns it into art, and it's really cool. So let's bring on our first guest for the evening, JBP Hobbyist. Hello, Cheeky.
Hey.
Hello. Welcome to Treasure Tales.
Thank you. I'm honored to get to be on here. And
well, it's our honor, let me tell you. Let me tell you, because you are very, very talented.
Well, thank you.
And you do a lot of different stuff. So this is going all around the world. And we want you to, I would ask you if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself, telling everybody a little bit about you and what you like to do.
Well, my name's Janine. I've always enjoyed being around water. My dad built 2 houseboats when I was young, and I was always playing in the water. First thing we pulled up to the bank, I was already looking to see if I could find a plug stuck in some vines or something or anything. I found a watch one time by running on the beach, and I looked down and seen something shiny, and it was a man's watch, and my dad gave me $5, I think, at the time for it. And he eventually, years later, it still worked, and he gave it back to me.
Very cool. Very cool.
I've always, like I said, even riding in the car, I'll look down when we stop at a red light to see what I can see on the ground. It's just one of those things that I've always enjoyed. And my oldest brother, he detected for many years, and he found a lot of Civil War stuff and things. And I got to spend a little over a year, I guess it was, or close to a year. He had some medical problems and stuff, so we didn't get much chance when I finally got a detector. to get to detect with him. And those were real special times, and stuff. And of course, everybody has their bucket list. I have my first three things was the Indian head penny, a Civil War bullet, and a mercury dime. Well, so far I've only found the Indian head penny, which was back in October, and it's really, really rough looking. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's
A lot of them are rough.
1886 or 1889, I think, something.
Well, that's a neat one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
You get those ones 1900 and up. I don't want those. Give me the 1800s. But there's somebody else that's a world-renowned detectorist that has got a bucket list of a mercury dime. But I ain't going to tell you who it is.
Well, at this point, I'll take anything silver now. My bucket list just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Every time I see someone find something like, oh, I want to find one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell everybody where you are located.
I'm in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Ah.
If you know where Chattanooga is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 25 miles up north from there.
Ah.
This is probably my best find. It's an artillery cap insignia pin. I actually found it in my mother-in-law's yard.
Wow.
You didn't have to go too far. Hopefully.
No.
Wow.
And then I found I think it's a U.S. Army Great Seals. It's really dark looking, but a Great Seals button.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Wow.
Cool.
Do you remember the first time that you went metal detecting? Like,
I started back in not the 18, the 16, 2016 is when I actually started doing it. And me and my brother got to detect in 2018 and a little bit of 2019.
wow. What was the detector you were using back then?
Well, I started out with a whites prism.
Oh.
And then my husband bought me a new Garrett Ace 300.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept wanting to get one that I could be complete waterproof. And so I found a used Garrett AT Pro, and that's what I'm using now.
Perfect for the water.
Yeah, I've actually only had it in the water one time, and that was about 2 weeks ago.
Right on. Good stuff.
Well, yeah, that's good for you because you're not in any salt water up there, so the AT Pro works very, very nicely in fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Great machine.
I want to go back really soon.
Yeah.
Especially before it gets cold.
Well, yeah, you're gonna get a little cold up there. Yeah. See, I grew up in central Illinois, so I know about that.
You were talking about some of the things, my creativity and stuff. I have gotten some people drink wine, and I get wine corks from different people.
I don't drink.
And so I created these. It's like a little sleigh and
well, that's cool. Out of corks.
Yeah. Trying to get it lined up. It's hard to get it lined up the right way.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
You're good. I tell you what, you come to my house, you can make the whole flotilla.
And I do paintings too. These are the little rock paintings.
That is cool.
Now, are those rocks? Do you put them out in the trails, kind of thing, or is that?
I have not. I actually sold a few of them to a lady that liked the owls. She said, "Will you sell me some of those?" I said, "Well, I guess."
Wow.
But I do that, and here is a painting that I done.
Wow, that's pretty nice. Wow.
And then this one, I have made a lot of paintings that people will say, "Can you paint my dog?" or "Can you paint my house?"
Yeah.
And I said, well, I can try. And then they'll give me a picture to look at, and then I'll draw it. My husband took this one over. He liked it real well.
Wow, you did that?
Yes.
Wow.
I told you she's got some serious talent.
Holy. Now, do you need to see a picture, or could you paint from memory?
I can paint by just coming up with stuff, especially lighthouses. I love lighthouses and barns and stuff like that.
Mm.
I'm always wanting to take pictures of them and even, bring it home and try to make, do a painting of it.
Wow. Wow. Now, what mediums do you use? Do you oil or acrylic
It's
or?
acrylic.
Oh, it is acrylic.
And
Okay.
I just use the little cheap bottles of acrylic like at Walmart. That's what
Yeah.
I use.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Wow.
pretty cool thing. And then I also do wood turning. And
Holy.
I don't have the little tip on it here for the chain to hook on, but
Wow.
there's the back of it.
Wow. I'm like totally blown away.
And spinning tops.
Wow.
And I like little things, so there's a little spinning top. And I
Wow.
even made a ring. Oops.
Now, do you go to like those uh
Craft fairs and stuff.
yeah, like craft fairs or that kind of thing? Like, do you get tables and sell your
Mm,
wares?
No, because most of the time they want so much, rent. I'd have to probably sell everything I've got made in order to make it. So, but here's
Yeah.
also a pen. Now the kits I buy, but this part right here, I turned it to go on the pen.
Wow.
Very cool. Well, we got a
Holy.
question for you from
Okay.
Robert Ridgway.
Okay.
He wants to know what your most unusual find is.
Uh, well, probably not knowing what it was when I first dug it up was probably this little cherub. It
Ah.
looked like just a clump of piece of chain link fence. All I seen was this part. It was all clumped up with dirt, and I thought, "What is that? That's nothing any good." And I finally started cleaning it off, and it turned out really cute. It's got little foot missing, but other than that, it's all there.
That's
Wow.
cool.
I thought it was really cool, but I know I didn't expect to find it. It was actually I found it in my own yard. I have no
Well, you
idea
never
what.
know what'll be there, And
Wow.
that's the beauty of treasure hunting. It's not called treasure finding; it's called treasure hunting. And
Yes.
every once in a while, you do find something, and when you're least expecting it, you find the best stuff, and where you say, "How in the world did it ever get there?"
Yeah.
You know.
Well, now I
So
know where a lot of stuff came from in my yard because my dad had a truck parts. My parents moved in this house when I was 7 years old, and for about 10 years he had a truck parts business. And anytime they took parts off, the washers, the nuts, bolts all hit the ground. Well, that's what I'm finding now.
Uh,
yeah,
But
yeah,
I just do creations with it once I get it to just to
and you
see what
do that. I've seen some of that stuff.
yeah.
Now, when you go out treasure hunting, do you door knock or you go to farm fields or what's your
I
usual?
I haven't actually done any door knocking because really I don't have that many people that will go with me detecting. So it has to be somebody that I know and they're going to be home before I can actually go. Um, I just have a few friends, like one lady, she's actually she has her mother's house, her aunt's house, and her grandparents' house all out in one section.
Mm.
And I think it's 27 acres or more. And she said, you can detect anytime you want to. So I've went there a couple of times. I've only found a regular modern penny so far, but yeah,
Well,
I've got to go back there. But I've never tried to do door knocking. I will ask some people, hey, do you know somebody that's got an old house or used to be an
Mhm.
old house that I can,
Yeah.
go check out? And
yeah.
so, but
Well,
yeah, I'd
those
love.
old houses, you want to see if you can find where if they're really old, where they used to have an outside well. That's a good area around that where they had the clothesline because they didn't have washers and dryers.
Yeah,
They might
yeah,
have had a washer, an old
Mhm.
wringer washer, but they hung the clothes out.
yeah.
And
I found a modern nickel in my backyard where I had a clothesline hanging.
so those old houses, and if they had the privy, that's another good area to hunt. You
Okay.
know, so especially with 27 acres, depending on what they did,
Mhm.
you might find a whole bunch of really good stuff out there, especially in that area where you're at, because there was a tremendous amount of Civil War activity there, wasn't there?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's where my brother got most of his Civil War stuff because there's a couple of areas that he checked out, and We went one time to kind of see if we could find anything, but by the time I heard a signal, I looked around and I didn't see him, and so I spent more time trying to keep up with him in the woods and didn't really get to find anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I would love to try to find some stuff like that.
Well, go back to some of those places. Now, does your husband detect?
No, he does, which we both do this. We fly RC airplanes.
Oh, cool.
Ah,
This one is just a little bitty one. In fact, if there's any wind, it's just too, you can't fly it in wind. It's just too light. It's like maybe a few ounces. It's really, really light. But now he
Yeah.
has a 10-foot long airplane and 120-inch wingspan that he flies. Mine's just a baby.
wow. Wow. Now,
Well, you know,
is it your channel's called JBP Hobbyist, and now I know why, because you do so many things. But is there something that you would like to try that you've not tried yet?
Well, I haven't done any bottle digging yet.
Ah.
And I asked the lady that has the 3 houses if there was a dump maybe on her property. And
Hmm.
she said she wasn't sure if there was. And I'm going to wait till it gets colder weather where all the
Hmm.
creepy crawlers are not in the woods and kind of look around and see if I can find something there. And I'd love to look for arrowheads too and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I have people another thing that I have done for years is people bring me sand from the beach, even though they're not supposed to do that. I sift through it and I'll find all kinds of cool shells, which you probably
Oh.
can't see this, but there's a whole bunch of shells, some little bitty
yeah.
ones. And I'll find pieces of coral. And if I'm lucky, which right here is probably one of my best sharks too.
Ah. Oh, right on. Now, will you incorporate some of those shells into your art pieces, or just for you to collect? Okay, that answers that.
But you can stick them down in like a planter with some real flowers or
Ah.
whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, she's very creative. You're very creative, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, here's a pin that you can wear. It's got a pin back on it. It's a little
Oh.
butterfly. And that's some of the shells too.
Oh my goodness.
You ought to sell some of that stuff online.
Or a local sale, or at the church
Yeah.
sale or
So
something,
that's another pin.
bazaars.
Yeah, that's another pin. I actually put some dye on those.
That actually looks really nice. I like the colors on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Very cool. Now, I know that you have got a magnet.
And I haven't got to use it yet.
Join the club.
It's driving me crazy. I've got it in a special little bag to take it to the lake with me or somewhere. And it's like, it's sitting there and I haven't got to use it.
Well, when the weather cools off a little bit, it's a good place to take it to, where the road goes over the creeks or the stuff
Mhm.
like that, and toss it over, because
Mm.
there's all kinds of stuff there. And,
Yeah.
especially up there, if that creek's been there a long time,
Yeah.
you might pull some Civil War stuff out.
Right past my mother-in-law's house, there's actually a little small bridge. It looks like, why have they not changed it yet? Because it's been there for years and years and years. Of course, my husband also said, well, you probably there's an old frame of an old truck down there you're liable to get hooked up with.
Yeah,
Now,
but
that
there might
could
be a gun or something. You
Yeah,
might find something really
possibility.
cool.
Now,
Yeah.
there could be old silverware, utensils and stuff from the Civil War. You never know what's going to be down there,
Exactly. Exactly.
So it'd be worth tossing that magnet over,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
I want to try all that different stuff. Like I said, I'm really anxious about trying to do some bottle digging too.
Yes.
Because I love
Yeah.
trying to find marbles and stuff and old bottles and everything. It's really cool.
Hmm.
Well, you've done some bottle digging, haven't you, Les?
Yes. Yes. I could spend an entire day in the dirt digging bottles. Totally.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't care if it's getting dirty in that situation. It's okay.
That's like when I first started hunting seashells. The beach that I was at was like Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and there was not many shells on the beach. And I just got to looking where the water had come up the night before, and it left a tiny trail. And I looked down and some little tiny, little bitty shells. Well, I go back to the motel, and get a cup. And my husband said he came out. He was watching a NASCAR race, and he said, "Come out," and he said, "I think you only moved maybe about a foot apart." I said, "Well," I said, "they're so tiny. I just kept picking them up." So that kind of got me started in wanting to find them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll find the shells just right up by the surf line where the waves come up.
Mm-hmm.
We deposit the little shells and some of the, bigger shells right along a shell line.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find them.
And of course, a lot of you knew that I actually do the coils and stuff out of the
Yeah.
the
Well, see,
printer.
you need to. People will pay you a lot of money for that, girl.
I like him. He's cute. And if you do the little birds, I actually painted them to look like the little chickadees.
Oh my goodness.
And when I go to the lake, I love kayaking and fishing too. So when I get to go to the lake and kayak, I look for driftwood and pine cones and stuff, and then I put them on a piece of wood.
Is there anything you don't do? Seriously.
I'll try anything.
Wow.
My mind doesn't shut off, I don't think.
Wow. Are there times during the day where you don't do anything? Like, do you have like downtime?
Oh, yeah.
I play a game or watch a movie.
Wow. Wow. Wonderful.
Well,
And
see,
I do like making stuff with the crap. It's like I've almost got to where I like the crap just as much as I do the good stuff. Because my mind, every time I pull something out, that looks like it might be a roof for a house, or that would make a little part of a bicycle or something. So, yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, it would be. Now, you need to train your husband to go metal detecting with you. You don't have to swing the detector, but he can dang sure dig a hole.
Yeah. Well, he went with me one time at that place I was talking about. Had the 3 houses and found a bunch of little nails and stuff, but it's just not his thing.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah.
Well, there's somebody. See, now, after being on the show, there's going to be somebody near you that's going to say, "Hey, let's go detecting."
Or bottle digging.
Yeah. Now, have you looked into any metal detecting clubs near you?
No. There was a guy that used to fly RC airplanes with us. He got into detecting, and they kind of made a little group or whatever to try to get together and find some places to detect. But that's another situation. My husband don't care much about me being without him on stuff like that. So.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. Well, Philip Faircloth says he's near Chattanooga. Where are you at? Where exactly are you at, Philip? He'll pop it up here in the chat. And you're near Chattanooga. You're what you say, 20 miles or something north? We must be frozen.
Can you hear us, Janine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, where are you? How much? He's in Wildwood.
15 miles south of Chattanooga.
Mine is like 25 miles from Chattanooga.
Which direction? North, right?
North, yes.
Well, y'all could meet up, and maybe do some detecting. You never know. See, you'll find a detecting buddy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
My aunt, she said she would go sometimes if she was available, and my sister-in-law that was married to my brother that passed away, she said she'd go, but it's hard to get everybody together at the same time, especially if the weather's right to go. Yeah. And here we get rain every evening. So
yeah, well, thank goodness you get in the rain. So what's next for JBP Hobbyist?
I don't know. Hopefully I want to go back to the lake and try to check out a swimming area and see if I can find something.
Yeah, that'll be good. You get yourself a scoop. You probably already got one of those.
Yeah, I got one. I'm going to have to put me a longer handle on it. I tried it with just the little handle that come with it.
No, you got to get a long handle on it.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way. So, but yeah, that's that, and actually using the magnet. I want to try it out.
Mm.
Yeah, you're going to find a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
I tell you what, well, Jeannie, it was just our absolute pleasure to
Yes.
have you join us tonight. And I think everybody out there all around the world enjoyed you so very much.
Well,
And
thank
they're
you.
probably going to,
And,
trying to get
and if
up with
they
you to
don't
buy
have
some
this,
of those detector things.
if they don't have this book, they need to get it because I'm in this book, the first profile book of Chris's.
Yeah, and we'll get you on the, those um, little things you make for the coils. You could make earrings out of that. These people pay you lots of money.
Well, now
They
I have one
will.
just like this hanging in my truck on the rearview mirror.
Well, see, there you go.
There you-
People will buy that. People will buy that. So, Janine, we just enjoyed so much having you with us tonight. And I know you're a loyal viewer of Treasure Talk, and you watch this show all the time, I know. And we just always, it makes our day when we see you in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
So it's been our pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Yes.
And we hope that you run into some good detecting partners and just have a really, really good time.
Yeah, and find more cool stuff.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. So thanks so much for being with us tonight. And we'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye. I got
Wow, I'm like blown away. She does everything, and she not only does she do
know.
everything, but she does it amazing.
That child has
Wow.
some serious talent, don't she?
Wow, that little bird on that driftwood with the two things on the side. Holy smokes.
I mean, you look at some of the stuff she's made
Wow.
out of the junk she's dug. It's unbelievable to me. I mean,
Yeah.
there are just people with that kind of talent.
Wow.
I don't have any. About the
Wow.
best thing I can do is I get injured a lot when I'm, trying any kind of project. Unless there's blood, it's not a successful deal. That's just, it's the way it is. So we've got another guest tonight that's going to be really, really good. And I want you to take him in.
Oh, our next guest. Well, I think we all know him as Sergeant Whitey. Let's welcome Sean to the show.
Bring him in.
Hey,
Sarge.
guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How about
Just
you?
a disclaimer right now, I'm not as talented as the last guest. The only thing I do with my trash is I sort brass, copper, and lead, and I throw the rest away. So,
There you go. Like most of us, probably.
I tell you what, she's got some serious talent, doesn't she?
yes, you did.
Woo! So why don't you, most people probably know you, but if they don't, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the world? Tell us a little bit about you, your family, what you do, where you're located, all that kind of good stuff.
Sounds good. Sean Sherrill, most people know me as Sergeant Whitey, or back home they know me as just Whitey. That was my nickname in high school. That's where I got the Whitey from. Sergeant was what my rank was when I got out of the Marine Corps, so I put the two together, and that was my form of my digging name. I've been digging since 98 or 94-ish, 95-ish, roughly. Kind of didn't really dig much for a few years. My very first two signals was with a bounty hunter. I dug a 1936 Mexican peso and a silver ring in the same hole at Camp Pendleton. So, and I still have the peso. I don't have the ring, but I have the peso in my display case. Fast forward to about 2016, I moved out from Oklahoma to North Carolina. And I've been digging hot and heavy ever since. Switched over to a Whites MX Sport. Most people follow me when I was with Whites on the field team. So I was finding all kinds of stuff with the MX Sport. And then when Whites sold to Garrett, I decided to transition over to the 18 Max and the Apex. So I've got finds with both of them. My super rare button was found actually with the Apex, the North Carolina militia button that I dug that was on American Digger magazine and a few other places. But so yeah, it's been an adventure. It's Sergeant Whitey, and Private Pup is my 9-year-old boy that goes out with me sometimes whenever it's not too hot or too cold or he's in school or whatever. So he enjoys getting out there every now and then. So
Now,
That's
your
cool.
your YouTube bio
Yeah.
and I'm going to quote it. It says, I have a burning desire to metal detect and dig history. Can you, like, is that something from childhood, or was that maybe after the military, during the military?
My grandmother's father, which would be my great grandfather, I didn't get a chance to really, I was real young when he passed away. So I didn't really get to really meet him and really pick his brain on what he was doing. But my grandmother told me that he was an avid treasure hunter, as far as he would be out searching for those legendary treasures, not necessarily with a metal detector or something like that, but he was following the tell and the clues and trying to find these long lost treasures. And when she told me that, it just kind of inspired me as a young kid that, there's tons of treasure out there, obviously, and just like, Jeff says, there's treasure everywhere you go. You got to know what you're looking for and what you're using to search with it for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, metal detecting was one of those things that always intrigued me. And, that's kind of why I got into that part of it. Never really been one of those ones like the legendary treasure hunter, like going out and trying to follow all the clues and the tell and the trail and stuff. And I'm not saying it won't be fun, but I haven't gone that route. But
yeah, it takes a certain type of individual to do that, but there's plenty, like I say, there's plenty of treasure out there that you'll find.
exactly.
And it's about, like I said, it's not about what you find. It's about how you go about it, and it's a release for a lot of people, decompression, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I started the Blue Space Society for people with handicaps.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily have to be a veteran.
Yeah.
Those I think veterans probably, their severity of their handicaps are, the hands they've been dealt. But, treasure hunting in all its forms, whether it be coin roll hunting, magnet fishing, bottle digging, metal detecting, any of that kind of stuff, it can bring a peace of mind to somebody that was maybe been struggling. I talk to a lot of people that say, boy, when I get off work, I just want to go out and be by myself and put the headphones on, and that's how I decompress.
Yep. That's me.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of difference, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing I do whenever I try it, because I'm the president of Wake County Metal Detecting, and it's a place for all history seekers is the logo for the club. And what I try to tell people is it's like, it's not what machine you have. It's not what you're looking for that classifies you at being a low, mid, high treasure hunter, so to speak. You start where you are. You enjoy what you like to do. We try to include multiple history finds. So we got the bottle group. We got the Native American hunting group. We've got gold panning. We've got meteorite hunting. We've got, just your normal metal detecting, whether you be a coin shooter, a relic hunter, or you like the beaches, whatever the case is, we want our club to be welcoming to anybody that enjoys just looking for treasure or history. And that's kind of what I broadcast Wake County Metal Detecting as, one of those one place that you can go and do it all, and it's not just isolated into you're just strictly a metal detecting group and that's all we do. And we only relic hunt. We don't go to parks and coin shoot, or we don't go to the beach or whatever, so.
Yeah, and everybody does things a little differently. We got a question from you from Mike Mayo, Dirty Paws Detecting. He wants to know what you like most about the Garrett Apex.
Garrett Apex, I like the multi-frequency aspect of it. I like it that I can take it to the beach and not have to carry I still have the White's TDI SL Beach Hunter. I do have the Garrett ATX. I have the TDI SL. So now I can take the Apex. It's lighter. I can take the big coil and not feel like I'm swinging my arm off, after the end of the day. So I can cover a lot of land. It's also good in hot soil. I've used it in a hot soil aspect. I've got not like DIV hot soil, but we just have some mineralized soil close to where I live. Some spots, I got some properties that a regular AT Max or an AT Pro or a White's MX Sport, for instance, you could pick stuff out, but you're still getting a lot of feedback and stuff like that because of the soil being so hot and mineralized. So I took the Apex out there and was able to pull some stuff out that we had missed actually with a regular VLF machine. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a great machine.
yep.
I think hopefully that Garrett will make it waterproof.
I'm hoping that they come out with some form of a multi-frequency waterproof, because I will be all over that one.
I think they'll probably do it with the Apex, but
Yeah.
you got to look at Garrett is just a fantastic company, one of the great American companies. But you look at
And that's why I chose. Yeah. And I was going to say,
Garrett-
that's why I wanted to go to Garrett after White sold to Garrett, is I wanted to stay. I have nothing against any of the other manufacturers. It's just, I'm an American. I'm a veteran of the Marine Corps. I serve this country. I love American made products. That's why I went with White's. When White sold to Garrett, it was a no brainer for me to switch to Garrett instantly. So.
Yeah. And, Garrett is their core has been relic hunting.
Yep.
And that's where as they should, their core, and that's who they made their detectors for. Now with the Apex, their multi-frequency, I think they're probably going to be forced into it to make it waterproof, because a lot of people are using it on the beaches and in the lakes.
Yep.
So I think they will.
Well, I'm super excited about the Axiom. I think that's going to be a game changer at DIV. That honestly, I really believe that thing weighs about 5 pounds. It's, how you're not swinging those, feels like you're swinging a 50-pound machine for 5 days out there at DIV. So I'm really looking forward to getting up to DIV and seeing if I can get my hands on one.
Yeah, well, Steve Moore is going to be on Treasure Talk here in a few weeks, and he's going to talk just exactly about that.
Nice.
So that's Garrett, just a great company, as was White's. I think it's unfortunate what happened to White's, but these things do happen, and I think we were fortunate enough that Garrett recognized that and stepped up to the plate.
Exactly. Yep.
Just top flight people.
Yep.
Just top flight people.
Yeah.
So,
I've met Vaughn Garrett. Of course, I'm really good friends with Steve, KG, and Ringy, Gypsy. Been around Nugget Noggin. They're all just a class act. I love being around Rusty and Miguel. So the whole crew that I've been around has just been phenomenal. So
yeah, they're all good folks. They're all good folks, and that's the thing about Garrett. Garrett, when they bring somebody onto their team, they're not only looking at how well they can detect, they're looking at their personalities, and they check them out, because they don't want abrasive types.
Yep.
It goes against everything, And now they bring in the Duck Dynasty people, and that's going to be good for them as well.
Oh yeah.
So that's really, really good. Now, you said you belong to a metal detecting club.
Yes, sir.
And you guys got something special going on right now, don't you?
Yes, we do. So Wake County Metal Detecting, to give you a little bit of history, has been, before it was Wake County Metal Detecting, which was what I changed the name to after I became club president, because I was trying to put us on the map. Originally it was called Triangle Relic Recovery. So if you're a metal detectorist or you're not a metal detectorist, the odds of finding that club online is like almost nothing, So my vision was to put Wake County Metal Detecting on the map, make Wake County aware of who we are, what we do to help preserve history. There's a lot of history in Raleigh, which is the heart of Wake County, which is our capital, that if they would see us for who we are, we could come in there and help save and preserve history before it's destroyed. We have a big park called Dorothea Dix, where somewhere between 50 and 100,000, I think 50 to 80,000 troops went. And it was actually, they were all there when Lincoln got assassinated. And to keep them from burning the city of Raleigh down, they shipped them in two different groups. They shipped the troops out away from Raleigh so they wouldn't burn the city down after Lincoln got assassinated. So that place has a lot of history. It was a insane asylum. It's been all kinds of things. There was tons of history on this piece of property that they're trying to convert to a park. We originally had permission there until I think January 1st of 2017 or 18. I can't remember exactly. So we've been fighting to try to get a permit, to try to just keep us involved as Wake County Metal Detecting Club, to come in as they move dirt around or start to build a building or something, give us a chance to come in there and save some history before they pour concrete or whatever the case is. And so we're doing pretty good with that right now as far as being in talks with them. They're pretty open to giving us a shot to try to save some of the history anyway. But with that said, the reason why I wanted to give that history is, like I said, I'm the president. Carl Peterson is the vice president, and he donated. And if anybody doesn't know what this book is, to me, this is the button book Bible of any book that you need to have in your arsenal or collection, is this Albert's button book. I know there's a couple of new books coming out that's got some updates in it, but this is the one that put the button books on the map. And this guy's book is phenomenal. It's hard to find. They're very, very expensive right now. They're roughly between $200 and $600, depending on if you can even find one online. So what we have going on right now is a raffle. It's $5 per entry. You can enter as many times as you want to. All money goes to Wake County Metal Detecting. I have two forms of payment by cash apps, which is Venmo and PayPal. Venmo is at Sergeant_Whitey, and PayPal is at Sergeant Whitey. Just do friends and family, so there's no fees. There is a P.O. box that you can mail an entry to, or entries to. It's on my Facebook page. If you want to go look at that, I did a live video. I did a TikTok video. I did a Instagram and a Facebook reel. So it's got all the details in there. And if you can't find that, just look me up on Facebook, send me a message, and I'll send you the details. But for $5, when this thing's worth hundreds, and it's a phenomenal book, it's in mint condition. Honestly, I have not even opened this book, because when Carl handed it to me, I didn't want to be responsible for breaking anything on the back. So it is in a great shape. I have one in my library, so I don't need one. But somebody out there doesn't have one, and it's got every button you can possibly think of in this beautiful book. There's also more stuff that's going to be coming with that. That's a surprise. So whoever the winner is, you're going to get more than just the book. So.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah. I can't believe that you're the city or the town is. I mean, I would have your group in there digging everything up before the bulldozers and
yeah, we're trying to get with the city council, and the people who made this. The people who made the law are not even in office anymore. So it's a law that is there, that the people who put it there because of a previous group that ruined it for everybody, basically. So we're trying to fight back now to try to get that permission.
Yeah.
Like, we can't hunt anything in Raleigh city limits. We can't hunt curb strips. We can't hunt parks. We can't hunt Dorothea Dix. We can't hunt vacant lots that's owned by the city. And it's all because of this one club. And like I said, we're trying to prove who we are, tell them that, we're not that type of club, that we're here to help the community and help the city, and not give metal detecting a bad name, basically.
Wow. Well, I wish you lots of success on that. I really hope you guys get that. Yeah.
Well, now, Liz, you're a retired police officer. It might behoove the club to approach the police department and offer your services.
We have actually. We've worked with Raleigh PD on a cold case before we were Wake County Metal Detecting. We went to go look for a weapon that a murder weapon that a person had shot his wife supposedly, and they were trying to find the murder weapon. The lady's been missing for 10 years, now been probably about 15 years, 14 or 15 years. They never found the murder weapon. She just disappeared. And so we were on a historical site it's an old mill site, so we can't legally metal detect there. So they had to have watchers with us, and everything we found went into a box or a bag. It had to go up to the museum. The museum had to verify. No matter what we found, it all had to go back to the museum, and which was fine. But we didn't find the weapon, but at least gave us some exposure with Raleigh PD, and got some contacts with them, that if they had an issue, that they could contact us and we could help them out. So, but yeah, we are actually on our page. We're offering our services to any police department that needs their help with metal detecting, or if they want us to come out and look for things that maybe they think a gun or bullets or bullet casings are in an area. Carl's actually been working on some bullets, to like different ranges of bullets, from 22 up to a bigger caliber, say a 7 mag or whatever, anything in between, pistol, rifle, whatever. to get what that bullet sounds like fired, just the lead or the whole bullet, so that a person, if they know it's a 38, they can have three things. They can have a fired slug, they can have just the bullet, the lead part, or they can have the full bullet itself, and they'll know what it sounds like on any machine that they have, that they can come in and take that kit and use it as an example of what they're looking for. So that's kind of one of our ideas that we're trying to present to the police departments in the area.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, very.
I'm sure you've gone with the veterans around, any group of veterans and that type of thing. So you'll get there. It's going to, take a little bit more work.
Yeah, I think I've been in office for about a year now. We're just about to get a website launched, which is going to really help our club. We are going to reach out to our local news station and try to get an interview set up with them to kind of expose who we are and what we do. And so we got little things in the works. So
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, from all your metal detecting and treasure hunting, is there like the most valuable lesson that you've learned?
I can only use my slogan, and it's the God honest truth. And I don't know if you know who DJ Yost is, but he was on the Whites field team. He's a great friend of mine. He's the one that, took me under his wing and taught me and brought me on, got me in, helped me to get on with the Whites field team. But when I first got the MX Sport, I was like, what is a gold signal? That's like any new detectorist. That's like your biggest thing is you want to find gold, and you always want to know, what does gold sound like? And it took me forever to just get that through my mind, that it's in such a broad range that it could be anything in this range, And he said, the best thing I can tell you, Sean, is just dig it all. And so I used that part of what he told me and used it as my saying. When I say dig it all, save some history, save some rings, and bury the drama, that's the God's honest truth. I mean, I literally dig. If it repeats and I'm in a historical site, I don't care if it's a scratchy signal. I don't care if it's an iffy signal. I don't care if it's a loud and, it's a bold signal. I'm digging it just to see what it is. Because I have been burnt one time very badly. My buddy Tyler McGee that I hunt with, we were at a Raleigh park before they changed the laws. And there was probably 6 of us that swung over this massive wad in the ground, and it gave us an overtone signal, like it was just loud, like it was a junky signal, just a big clump of something. He got so tired of hearing it that he dug it up. It ended up being a cache or a hoard that somebody probably robbed a jewelry store. It was probably, I'm going to say 30 or 40 pocket watches that were silver, gold, rings that were platinum, silver, and gold. All the jewels were taken out. All the diamonds were taken out. I can't even tell you how much he found, but it was just crazy that we all walked over it. We all heard it. We all bypassed it. And so now, even if I get an overload tone, I'm digging it just to see what it is. I'm not going to get burned again.
Smart move.
Yes, that's a good lesson. Really good lesson.
Yeah. So what's next for Sergeant Whitey?
Right now I'm in the ring mode right now. I'm up to like 164 rings for the year, I think, so far, and since January 1st. And I've done 16 ring recoveries. I'm on the ringfinders.com, so people contact me. I did just recently find a silver class ring that I was able to locate the young lady who lost it, and put it in the mail actually today to send to her. So she's up in Bristol, Tennessee, so probably close to our last previous guest. And she lost it in a lake a couple hours away from me, and I was able to locate her and got in contact with her and got it returned to her. So,
well, that's great. That's a good thing.
Yes, it
good
is.
thing. Well, Whitey, I am glad that you were able to join us tonight, as I'm sure everybody around the world got to meet you today.
Yeah.
And we just are thankful that you were able to come on and share your story with us.
Well, thanks for having me. It was an honor. So.
Yes, indeed. We'll see you soon, and we'll have you back on sometime.
All right, sir. Y'all have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Have a good night. All right, bye-bye.
Another interesting guest, I'm going to tell you.
Great guest.
Yeah. So it's amazing how fast an hour goes by. Isn't
Oh, it? I know.
It's just amazing. So there again, now people, if now Whitey has he does TikTok and he does YouTube. JBP, I don't think she does, but she's on Facebook. So send her a friend request and go subscribe to Whitey's channels. And I tell you what, if you want to see the best of the best of the best, then you need to subscribe to Diggin' Canuck Treasure Hunter. I'm serious, because that's as good as it gets. So if you're not a subscriber to Liz's channel, go over there and click the subscribe. Then send her an email at diggingcanuck.com after you ask for all the notifications, and let her know that you enjoy her channel. And tell her I sent you.
Thank you, Jeff.
So, now, as we always say, don't we, Diggin' Canuck?
Yes, sir.
Treasure stories, there's a million of them out there. All of them are valid, all of them are unique, and all of them are what we want to hear. And it doesn't have to be about your finds. It ain't about what you find. It's about how you find it, how it makes you feel, and your treasure adventure. So if you would like to be on Treasure Tales with the Diggin' Canuck and myself, send us an email, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com or diggingcanuck@gmail.com, and we will get you booked to come on and meet everybody and tell them your treasure story. And we hope to hear from you very soon.
Yes.
So that being said, I think we're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So Liz, thank you so much. You are my sister from another mister.
Thank you for having me. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And we'll catch you next Thursday. Same time,
Yes,
same channel.
Yep, we will be back, the same bat channel. So everybody, happy hunting and dig deeper.
Right on. Have a good night.
Good night.